The extremely high profitability of the Sims franchise has led to its porting to a number of different platforms in the interest of making a ton of money. Sometimes it works, but far more often it doesn't work. But the granddaddy of all the adaptations, the very first one they did, was for the PS2, Gamecube, and Xbox. Now this was the first time they brought The Sims over to home consoles, and that's what we're looking at today. The game came out in 2003, which puts it in a really weird place. There were still expansion packs for the first Sims game coming out, but this game incorporated some of the changes that were to come in the next year's Sims 2, at least in prototypical form. Technically, this Sims game is considered a port of the original 2000 PC game. It would later get spin-offs that were console-specific like The Herbs, but this was technically a straight port. However, unlike that game, The Sims for consoles is the first completely 3D Sims game with a user-controllable camera that can rotate and zoom in on an analog level, not just the predefined settings of the original isometric PC game. And that's cool and all, but you're probably thinking, oh, there's no way that you can control The Sims very well using a controller. This is a game made for mouse and keyboard. And before I played this version of The Sims, I probably would have agreed with you, but they managed to pull it off. It's a bit awkward at first, but the ability to rapidly switch between characters in a household, then center the camera on them, as well as the ever-present column of light showing you where you're actually pointing, make it far more easy than it seems like it would be. But unlike its name and the marketing at the time would have suggested, this game is not just The Sims turned into 3D and then shoved onto a console. They've also made some pretty serious changes to the core gameplay. For starters, the only available mode the first time you boot it up is not the traditional Sims gameplay. Instead, it's a story and objective-based mode called Get a Life. You start off living in your mother's house and steadily work your way up the ladder of life from there by completing objectives that feel vaguely like the Want system in Sims 2. Every once in a while, you'll move on to a new house, and then get a new set of goals, rinse and repeat. The problem with the mode is that while there's a lot of little interesting ideas, they've all been done better since. At the time, they were fascinating evolutions of the Sims formula, but now they're just intriguing relics. Sure, there's a standard play The Sims mode that is the more traditional way to play, but even there, it feels like an early prototype for The Sims 2. Now, as a historical relic, The Sims for console is extremely interesting, a middle ground between The Sims and The Sims 2, a strange peek into how the development of the franchise progressed. But as a game, it serves almost no purpose now. Anyone with a laptop or desktop of pretty much any capability can play The Sims 2 at this point. So the whole point of this game, giving players who only owned a console the ability to play, kind of falls flat now. Still, the game is rather cheap on the used market, available for all the consoles that were out at the time, and if you're a fan of the series, it really is a neat middle ground between The Sims and The Sims 2 that works way better than you would think, and is well worth at the very least a passing glance. Every Monday, I look at games that are at least 10 years old, what I would consider retro games, and I review them in a modern context. That means I review them as the market exists now. Are these games still worth playing today, or have they just become interesting historical relics? If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can catch my latest videos. If you like this review in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.